All right. So this is my week's reflection over the breakthroughs in medicine. Um, Honestly, this is a pretty touchy subject to talk about and think about. Um, which kind of sucks because it like when we're reading this stuff and you're reading about the like fancy cool stuff that people are able to come up with and how we've able to tackle diseases over time through just like finding them to actually finding solutions to them, and how our technology has progressed alongside our healthcare system is really interesting. Um, I think a lot of the stuff that they talked about was pretty cool, honestly. Um, like just the fact that you can use half of this technology like to just do any of this stuff. Just the fact that we are able to accomplish such feats is pretty awesome. I mean, I think at the end of the day, any society should strive to um, exceed the life expectancy of the era or society that preceded it. And I think as humans, we should strive to look towards um, improving health for everybody at all systems. But I mean, it also poses a lot of tough questions. Um, it also has a lot of ethical and moral implications. I think uh, the point that was being hammered really well in this week's class was like whether we should or should not do something when it comes to healthcare. Um, I feel like at the end of the day, there's always going to be no right or wrong answer to what happens to a person. I feel like either way, somebody has to suffer in either cases, whether they should be allowed to keep on living in a state in which they're suffering. Uh, I like there's always going to be the family that wants to have them here and like just let them have an opportunity at life. But then there's the other side of the perspective where the person living that life might not enjoy it. They might not be able to um, get all of what's worth in life from their perspective or our perspective, I guess. And that's a difficult um, like conversation and decision to come to. I think that the discussions we had in class, especially over the point of having like a living will, um, in which we can like deny or request to be kept alive, is a really important conversation that we should have as young people, because I feel like uh, I mean, well, not even young people, I just feel like most people, because life can come in which ways that it decides to hit us. And I think that I'm definitely gonna look more into what this is, because I know that I didn't know that some of the stuff was as bad as it is, like, to keeping people alive. Um, I obviously knew that CPR would like breaks ribs and stuff, but I didn't know that it could cause that much stuff, and I didn't even know that it had like a 10% like success rate. Like, I think if I were to be put in that position, like, I mean, shit, it's my time. Just take me out at that point. I feel like if if my life will not be able to like sustain what I like doing, like, I mean, if I'm gonna be like stuck in bed all day or stuck to a bunch of machines, I wouldn't like that. But I don't think that it's necessarily wrong for somebody to choose that, or like to want to have your family member experience that, because I mean there's a lot of great things that can come from just being alive. A lot of those diseases cause a lot of amazing minds to be born, like just in the way that they have to maneuver life and find their own ways um, to just live a fulfilling life. I think a lot of influencers now today we're able to see inside the life of a lot of disabled content creators, and they're able to live happy, successful lives in whichever capacity they're able to live. And I think if they're okay with that and they want to keep living their life, then they should have every right to do so. Um, I think that Mr. Jordan's opinion is is right. Um, though I wouldn't take his stance on stuff. I think that that's like a very noble thing to do, and I mean I can understand the logic that that he has. Um, I mean, like I said, it's just a horrible thing that some people have to go through, and you know, like it. There really is no right or wrong answer. There's just your answer and your perspective on things. Um, yeah, but overall, I thought this chapter was pretty interesting. I think the ability to just have so much things in the modern era, like CAT scans, like MRIs. I know MRIs helped me recently with my knee, so shit, I'm thankful for that. Um, I think that we're at the end of the day, as terrible of a decision it is to be able to have to make decisions like this. I think we truly are blessed to live in an era where we are like even have the capacity to make these decisions. I think the fact that our society has progressed to such a point to where we can keep a lot of people alive to whatever length of time from previously like 100% fatal diseases is honestly incredible. Um, Now, the access to that stuff through healthcare, it's another story. It that's another question that we have to like look into, because that's a big question into which like society has the capacity to um, share that technology and those treatments with the people that actually need it, like at whatever level of like economic stability or class system, you know. But I mean that's a whole another conversation. You know, yeah. It was just, I don't know. It was equally interesting learning about the stuff in the reading, and equally pretty, honestly pretty heartbreaking to hear and watch some of the stories that we had in class. I mean, um, I definitely felt tears welling up at certain points during class and during some of the videos and stuff that we were watching, just because, you know, it's a really um, emotional subject. Uh, um, Especially viewing a lot of the kids that were in situations like that. I unfortunately had to have a cousin pass away at a very young age, and it was tough seeing him just like in the hospital bed and having to see somebody that like you love have to be lost at such a young age. And yeah, it's just it. I don't know. It's just a really tough subject to talk about, but yeah. In my opinion, I think the quality of life should be prioritized. in as well as the like capacity that somebody has to live. But those are just my opinions. And yeah.